guys. Next up, we have our Friday night game of the week, Astronaut at Rockledge. Rockledge had a tough game last week.
They did. The Friday night locker room will travel to McClarty Stadium. Steve and I will be there to watch the Rockledge Raiders host the Astronaut War Eagles. It will be the Friday night locker room game of the week. You'll be able to hear that live on 89.3 FM in North Brevard and 90.3 FM in South Brevard. You can also stream it worldwide, and that will be on spacecoastdaily.com and also on FNLR.net. Now to the game. The Astronaut War Eagles come in at 3-2. The Rockledge Raiders at 2-3. The Eagles finally, Steve, won a close one. They've had 2 games where they've lost by a total of 4 points. So they won a close one last week, beating Orlando Jones 15-14 and making the school's homecoming a very nice evening for everybody. Hawkins led the way for Astronaut with 109 yards and 2 scores. Rockledge loses a heartbreaker in overtime to the Space Coast Vipers 29-28, and the Vipers went for 2 at the end of the game, last play, to win. And I like the gutsy call there by the Space Coast Vipers, but I like the War Eagles this week.
Steve?
It should be an interesting matchup. It's not a district contest, but it's one that both teams desperately want to win. The War Eagles will play their biggest game of the year the following week when they travel to Lake Highland Prep. If they win that one, they're in the playoffs. But they want to win the Rockledge game. They beat them last year 12-3. The War Eagles are playing great. Orville mentioned it. You know, the defense is solid. We've talked about Harry Hampton, who is a former Friday night locker room player of the game, Nathan Brown, player of the game, Glasgow, Trey Hawkins, Taylor Jordan. You can go on and on. The defense is playing so well for Coach Randy Halleck. Offense, Jay Hawkins. It starts with their running back. They can move the ball on the ground. Interesting matchup. I see 2 teams that are very similar, both very young. The War Eagles have a great sophomore class, as do the Rockledge Raiders. They have a number of freshmen that are contributing. The backfield of Freeman and Mitchell are going to be something to reckon with next year. You know, they've shown flashes this year of being a solid football running team. But I think Astronaut is a little more balanced right now than Rockledge is. I think Astronaut will win the game, but I look for it to be a 1-score game. I think Orville and I are going to have a good one Friday night.